welcome to Zaketissimo. I am Andy and today we are doing a mid-year coloring check-in. So this video will be a different one. I'm changing up the format. As you can see, I needed a program to record my screen in order for me to show you my tracker. This video will be slightly different than the other mid-year coloring check-ins that you've seen. I saw that other YouTubers had some questions that they responded to and some plans that they reviewed, if they managed to keep up with their plans or not, or show the progress. So in terms of different, I had some questions in other videos of mine and I responded with a reply on that comment. So if you ever need to question me anything, just throw in a comment and I will always reply. Or if you want to for me to make a video responding to multiple questions, let me know and I'll also do that. I also wanted to know if it matters for you to see my face. I know that in the beginning I did a few videos in which I showed my face when I presented something or I did something. For me, I don't know, it's not always relevant to see the YouTuber's face. For me, it's very relevant to see the work, the techniques, the finished pages and so on. But let me know if this format works for you better, if you want to see the YouTuber's face or reactions, or I don't know. It takes more time to film and edit a video that also shows the people's faces, but let me know and I will do that as well in the future. Okay, so this was the intro, so let me show you my tracker. First of all, let me move my face. So this is my tracker. I have a tracker for all of my physical books. These are my physical books that I own and they are a lot. And as you can see, I keep them in this tracker because I have them in a physical format in my house in multiple places. So it's very hard for me to see at a glance what I have. So if you can see, I have all of the books. They are like 500 something. Yeah, 500. These are the latest ones that I inputted. You can see these ones in my haul. And I also create a drop down for them. As you can see, I make a list with all of these books from here. I also have PDF books. The PDF books, I have them from subscribing to newsletters, purchasing them from Etsy or from other websites. Some of them I scanned myself because they are books that I love so much that I want them to also keep the pages uncolored. So if I want to recolor that page, I wanted to have it in a digital format, untouched, uncolored. So here I have as well 600 and something, 622. Yeah, so I have a lot of coloring books. And a small reminder here is that I've been coloring for 10 years, almost 11 years, so don't judge me. Don't judge me. I didn't make so many purchases in like 2 or 3 years. This is a whole collection gathered through 10 years, 11 years. So please don't judge. Okay, next, I also have a list with all of my materials. And as you can see, I selected them to have them in a drop down. You will see later. And I also track now in 2025, I also track the usage of my materials because I want to see what materials I use more frequently and to see if I have any materials that I didn't use at all. So as you can see here, I didn't use Arteza, I didn't use Museum Aquarelle, I didn't use Cezanne, I didn't use Pastel Tints, but I used this one. Okay, technical issues. I will get to them later. Okay, here I have for me to know, these are the sets that are not completed, like the Distress Ink Mini, Distress Oxide, Neon Color 2 and Pan Pastels. And here I have the colors that I have. So if I go to the store and I see colors that I like, I have this tracker and I can access it. It's from Google Sheets. I can access it and I can see what colors I have, so I don't purchase a duplicate color. For Neo Color 2, I have the 40 set. No, I have the, is it the 40? I don't know, it was the smaller one. I think it's the, yeah, it's the 40. and the biggest one is the 81, I don't know. Anyway, the 40 set that I have, it's quite enough. I didn't purchase any pieces, how do you call them, the individual colors. I didn't purchase any of them because they are enough. The pan pastels as well, Distress Oxide and Distress Ink Mini. Yeah, this is for me to see what I have, because I don't remember all of these shades. And if I go to the store and I see a pretty color, I can access this Google Sheet and I can see what I have in order for me not to purchase a duplicate. Great. And now let's dive into the mid-year check-in. This is my mid-year check-in at a glance. So we can see here how many pages I colored each and every month, what book did I color in, and what materials did I use. That's why it was important for me to have the books and the materials in a drop down, because I select them from here, and depending on what I add here that I used, they will count in the material tab here as usage. So I think I know what I did here, because I have a page in which I don't remember. One second. So I know I have a page in Kevin Teo Art here. Yes, here I used Harmonious, but I also used Castle Arts pastel tint, and that's why it wasn't showing as used here. See, now it's counted that I used these materials on one page. Great. Okay, let's continue. So on January I had only one page colored. On February I had 11 pages colored in these books, and here I have the materials. In March I had 10 pages finished, and in these books with these materials. In April I only had one finished page using these pencils in this book. In May I had 7 pages finished in these books with these pencils. And now in the right side you will see that I created a table in which I have all the materials and how much I used them. But this table, it's like I used Caran d'Ache Pablo in January once, but I didn't use it again in February. So I want to know how many times I used this material for the whole year. This is up until May, but it will be for the whole year. In December I want to see how many times I used each and every material. For example, I have Luminance here that I used twice in February, and then in March I used it 5 times, so it's 5 plus 2, because in total up until March this year I used 2 times in February and 5 times in March. Got it? Maybe if I show you, and then I used it again in May. Let me show you the format. So it counts how many times I inserted this drop down, this element from here, and then it adds the previous column. See, it adds J7. So yeah, great. If you want more proper explanation on how I created this template, or if you want me to make you a copy of this template, let me know. This is what I did because these are the statistics that interest me. So I want to see, like, up until May this year I used Amazon Basics 1 time, Luminance 8 times, Polychromos 1 time, and so on. And it seems like I used a lot of materials like 1 time, and then there's Neocolor 3 times, Museum Art, Castle Arts Gold 2 times, and so on. Seems like my colors. This was a light green. Okay, I'll fix this later. Great, so this is my half of year in a glance, and then I have this thing that I worked on last night. And here you can see all of the information that you saw on the previous tab, but with the finished pages, because I like to see my finished pages all in one place, and I think it will be cute when I will have the whole year and I can see my whole year at a glance. So we have in January, I only completed this page from Benny Blue from Christine Caron, and I used Pablo pencils. I think in all of the pages I also use acrylic markers for details, and also white Posca. Like all and every page of mine will have white Posca. I don't see the need to add that I used white Posca, because that's a resource that I will always have in my collection. Okay, so nevertheless, here I used Caran d'Ache Pablo as the main material for this page, but I also used acrylic markers for the frame and white Posca for the fur and for the shiny stuff, and wherever I wanted to add some sparkles or light. Moving on, I have in February 11 pages. I did this double spread in Hannah Carlson Spirit Animals. I used Castle Arts Gold and Neo Color 2 for the background. This is the page. Then moving on, I worked in Clara Markova Orchard Full of Fairies, where I used Derwent Pro Color Artists and Pan Pastels of Pastels for the background, and it's this one. Obviously I used Posca for the white flowers and the fur of the baby goat. Moving on, I have Clara Markova Fairy Touch of Magic, where I used Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2 with Prismacolor on top. The Neo Color 2s, I think I did only the background, not also the elements, and the rest is Prismacolor. I think this video will take too long if I will explain each and every page, so I will just scroll through them, because I think I also did the finished pages for these ones, or for these ones, I don't know when I started. I think I started my YouTube channel like 2 months ago. I rebranded it because I had another YouTube channel in which I only filmed speed colorings, and with no interest of growing a channel or growing a community. So yeah, this is a rebrand of that channel. Okay, moving on. I have Grace J with Color Meow. This is not the official name. I think the official name on the book is Cat Coloring Therapy, and I also have the second book. Diane Dufour, Boule de Pois with Black Widow, again Diane Dufour, Boule de Pois, Black Widow again. Then we have Apple, Forest Girl Seasons with Brutfuner Square Pencils and Tombow Hirohiten. Then we have Joseph Kattenbang, Mythographic Wild Winter with Ohuhu Honolulu. Then we have Wildflower from Christine Caron, where I use luminance and the Faber-Castell pastels. And then we have Fantasy Fairy Portraits from Deria Sakirsoi with luminance. And this was all for February. Then we have on March, we have 11 pages finished. We have Christine Caron Wildflower. We have this page from there were multiple illustrators in that book, but I think it's Kanoko Egusa. I think she does a lot of Disney illustrations. The illustrator wasn't clear. I think there were many illustrators at the end of the book, but it wasn't mentioned on which pages each of them worked on. So I used on this one Caran d'Ache Luminance, and in the background I think I used Faber-Castells of Pastels. Let me also add them. Faber-Castell pastel blocks, also on this one because it's a double spread. So you can see the format that I did for my finished pages and for my tracker. It's very easy to select what I use and not repeatedly write the name of the book with the illustrator and the materials. I just select the drop down and artics, or and I can select. I don't have to write the whole name. Okay, here I have Lady Spring. I know that for this book I had the illustrator, but I didn't remember her name. Sorry for that. I will look into it. This is the drop down for the whole collection of the book, and I didn't search for the name of the illustrator that created this specific page, but you can find it in the book. So here I used the Ruined Artists and the Ruined Pro Color. Next we have Goblins in the Halo with Denise, from Denise Klett, where I used colored pencils and the Distress Oxides ink. The difference between Distress Oxide and Distress ink is that oxide can be used on top of pencils and they will be opaque, whereas the Distress ink will be transparent and will not be visible over pencils unless the ink is very dark. And as you can see here, the ink was green and it was still visible on that brown. Moving on, we have Green Garden Lady from Lana Green. I used luminance, and in the background I have acrylic markers, of course. Next we have Beauty of Horror 5 from Ellen Robert, where I use colored pencils, and I also used acrylic markers on the background for the black. Next we have Kevin Teo Art, the collection from 2021, where I used Prismacolor colored pencils, but I also used Neo Color 2 on the background, and we'll also update it here. Next we have Tomislav Tomic Dromenwanger with Nassau colored pencils. Also used acrylic marker on the background with this grayish brownish color on the background. Next we have Kevin Teo Art, the collection from 2022, where I used the Huhu markers and luminance on top. And the last one we have from Rehan Widasi, Forest and Nature. It's the Wald und Nature, I think. And I used Kohinoor Polycolor, but I also used acrylic markers for the yellow lines that I have in the background. Great. Next we have in April, I only had one page with my new colored pencils that my partner bought from Budapest for me, and they were awesome, and I did this page from Legend Nouveau from Herb Leonhardt, and the name of the pencils are Mitama Minapiu. Very cute name. It's a set of 36 colors, I think, and I had another set of 12 double-ended pencils, like 24 colors, and I think I also used those ones in here a bit. Next we have in May, we have from Kevin Teo Art, the collection from 2023, we have this page in which I used Castle Arts Harmonious and Distress Ink minis, and here I also used the pastel tint. I have to update also here, but also in this tracker if I wanted it to be accurate. That's why I also added in here. Next we have still from Kevin Teo Art from the collection of 2023. I used Ohuhu Honolulu and luminance on top for the Mad Hatter. Next we have this page from Kate Pellerin, Magical Woodland. I used Arctic's colored pencils. I think this is the single page that I didn't use Posca because I liked how I did those shadows, and I don't know why my pages seem so dark. I think I need to photograph them in the daylight because I usually finish a page in the night time, and yeah, they seem quite dark. Let me know what you think. Next we have this page from Diane Dufour, Syrien du Monde, and I used the Ruined Chroma Flow. In this one, it's a double spread from Karolina Kubikowska on the Other Side of Dreams, and I used the Ecoline liquid watercolors with pan pastels on the background and a lot of Posca for the details. And now, in June I didn't color any page because in June I was doing other activities like reorganizing my bookcase. I was filming my coloring book collection and my materials and my pencil cases, and I also was updating my tracker and updating the finished pages that I have in each book and so on. So this is my excuse for not coloring any page in June, but I will give you a spoiler on what I will have on the finished pages for July, so I will go very quickly in them just to see Dada Cat, Flowers and Sweet Girls. This is from Sentient Beings Art. I don't have her in my drop down. I need to add her in my collection. Next we have Diane Dufour, Boule de Pois, Florine Lerichon, Flannery Urbani, excuse my French, where I already have 1, 2, 3 pages. Then we have a page from Lana Green Garden Lady, where I absolutely used just luminance and acrylic markers. Then we have my Labubu page, which I found on a free coloring pages website. Here is the third page from the same book, and then I have a small monkey with his bananas from Joshua Dunbar from Island Cuties. It's a pocket size book and he's so cute. So this was my mid-year coloring check-in. Also a spoiler for my finished pages. I also have a whip. I started a whip. I don't know if I will finish it. So this was my mid-year coloring check-in. Let me know if you like this format. Let me know if you want to see my face more often, or it's okay for you to see just my creations and my hand coloring the books and so on. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I always respond to each and every one of you. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye!